Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR Update 24 channel. I hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up before we dive into today's Young and the Restless update. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of October 20th to 24th reveals that Claire Newman will make a hospital visit and give Sharon Newman some surprise comfort. Sally Spectra will also make a bold move, so there'll be a lot happening on the CBS soap. For starters, Christine Blair's bachelorette party will take a wrong turn thanks to Phyllis Summers barging in uninvited. The power will ultimately go out at the athletic club, which will affect Danny Romalotti's bachelor gathering as well. However, Phyllis won't be responsible for that power outage since it'll turn out to be related to some construction problems. Phyllis will try to accept what she can't change when it comes to Danny's future with Christine. This marriage is going down whether Phyllis likes it or not, so she'll tell Danny that she wants him to be happy. Next, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will face Tessa Porter's drunk kiss and will have to make some hard choices in the aftermath. Mariah Copeland's past will also take center stage, so she may imagine Ian Ward and Will Hensley are there haunting her at her facility in Boston. Back with Phyllis, she has some shocking romantic developments coming up, and they'll most likely involve crossing a passionate line with Kane Ashby. Kane and Phyllis will reach an agreement after things head in a surprising direction, so they may agree to be friends with benefits. On the other hand, Phyllis and Kane might agree it can never happen again, though that's an agreement that could easily be broken. In Los Angeles, Nick Newman will track down Sienna Bacall and introduce himself as he searches for more Noah Newman intel. Meanwhile, Claire will visit the hospital and give Sharon some comfort as she worries about Noah's medical condition. Kyle Abbott will also try to expose Holden Novak as a dirty, rotten scoundrel, so he'll take notice of Holden's shady meeting with Sienna and call Claire's attention to it too. Later, YNR spoilers say Kyle will interrogate Sienna and try to get to the bottom of her Holden connection. Finally, Sally will make a bold move for Audra Charles' sake, so she may fight for her friend's role at Abbott Communications, even if Jill Abbott and Billy Abbott aren't supportive. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sally will step up for Audra and hope things work out, so stay tuned for updates on any major career news ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that there are 4 soapalicious plot twists on the horizon that could rearrange many lives in Genoa City. Let's take a look at how these turns could affect your favorite characters. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. Website your email. Subscribe. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. 1 Kane shows his true colors. Kane Ashby vowed to Lily Winters and their twins that he is still the same good guy he always was, just without the Aussie accent. Can he prove this outrageous claim? Maybe. But before that occurs, we can spill that his behavior could very well get worse. How could he sink any lower, you ask? How about if he and Phyllis Summers get involved? That would rock GC and his loved ones to their core. 2 Victor and Jack escalate their war. The ongoing historic war between Victor Newman and Jack Abbott is about to flare up in a big way. Right now they have a loose alliance based on defeating Kane, but at some point they stop and redirect their venom toward each other. Believe it or not, there are still stones to be unturned in this historic battle, and what is coming up will have the power to destroy lives in among the Newman and Abbott families. 3. There's a new bad guy in town. Next up, we have a new villain to shake things up in GC. The intro to the new bad guy coincides with Noah Newman's devastating car crash in LA. Someone arranged for his car to fall down a ravine, and this is the bad guy who has it in for Noah. We know that Roger Howarth has joined the show, and it could be his character that is involved, and with Sienna Bacall, who debuted this week. Sienna is involved with a guy named Mitch, and he could be the one after Noah. Whoever this person is, Nick Newman wants payback. And once Victor Newman gets the news, Noah's grandfather wants revenge. For Noah's new persona, Noah is in bad shape after the crash. When he wakes up, he could have the legendary soap amnesia or worse. Are a few serious personality changes in store for the notorious good guy? Noah is a sweet man, but a traumatic brain injury could change all that. Red Hot YNR spoilers hint that Noah wakes determined to forge his new path better than ever. Parents Nick and Sharon Newman are worried, however, as it appears that their son has gotten in bed with a rough crowd. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that these 4 things will change everything in GC. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with The Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Kyle Abbott went through a devastating heartbreak recently, with Claire Newman dumping him. Given that Claire appears to have found a new love, it's possible that Kyle could also be on the verge of discovering a new romance as well. Kyle could stumble upon a new romance sooner than he thinks, as viewers have noticed. Kyle's lies have finally caught up to him. His kiss with Audra Charles and his deal with Victor Newman have pushed Claire Newman away. Claire has since ended her relationship with Kyle and may be moving on with Holden Novak. However, Kyle is still not ready to give up on Claire. Meanwhile, another potential love interest might be waiting for him, though he may not see it yet. To win Claire back, Kyle has sought help from her mother, Victoria Newman. They have been spending more time together, with Victoria guiding Kyle on how to win her daughter back. However, the tables could turn and things go in another direction entirely. That being said, things might take a different turn. As the two spend time together and discuss love, a connection could form between Victoria and Kyle. After all, Victoria is also dealing with a similar heartbreak. She is currently single because of Cole Howard's death. It's possible that they could grow closer as they both grieve their lost loves. As the saying goes, misery loves company, and it can be comforting to be alone together. The fact that Victoria and Claire are mother and daughter might make fans less interested in this storyline. However, similar situations have occurred with other characters in Genoa City. Fans may remember that Ashley Abbott once gave up Ben Stitch Rayburn for her daughter, Abby Newman. Victoria has been in similar storylines before. What comes around goes around. Victoria has been involved in similar plots before. Cole had an affair with Nikki Newman prior to starting a relationship with her. Later on, Victoria married Brad Carlton, who was once engaged to her mother. This marriage ended because of her affair with J.T. Hellstrom, who was dating her stepdaughter Colleen Carlton. However, it seems unlikely that Victoria would betray Claire in this way, especially since she is trying to help Kyle, but on the other hand, it could create good drama. It might even lead to a negative turn for Claire's character and make her not so goody two-shoes. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates. Kyle Abbott faces a romantic crossroads. Is he finally ready to move on? The autumn air in Genoa City carries change, and nowhere is that change more intense than in the heart of Kyle Abbott. After months of emotional turmoil, broken trust, and complicated love triangles, the young Abbott heir now finds himself standing at a romantic crossroads. The question haunting him isn't just who he loves, but what kind of man he wants to be when he finally chooses his path forward. This is not just about moving on from heartbreak. It's about rediscovering identity, resilience, and truth. And in true Y&R fashion, nothing about it will come easy. The ghosts of the past. For years, Kyle's romantic life has been a whirlwind, from his passionate connection with Summer Newman to his fiery encounters with Lola Rosales, and more recently, the complicated attraction to Claire Grace. Each relationship left its mark, shaping the man he's become, but also leaving behind scars that haven't fully healed. After his separation from Summer, Kyle believed he'd finally reached his breaking point. Their love story had been a saga, one filled with deep affection, betrayal, and second chances that never quite worked. The affair with Audra Charles had only made things worse, exposing sides of Kyle that even he didn't want to admit existed. At the time, Kyle had convinced himself that moving on with someone new, anyone new, was the key to forgetting. But in Genoa City, love never fades quietly. It lingers like smoke, wrapping around every memory, every whispered name, every what if. Now, months later, Kyle finds himself once again at the center of an emotional storm, torn between his past with Summer, his connection with Claire, and the haunting realization that maybe he doesn't know what he truly wants. A fresh start that isn't so simple. Kyle's been trying to rebuild his life. He's back at Jabot, working closely with Jack and Diane, though his personal life often bleeds into the boardroom. On the surface, he's focused, ambitious, and determined to prove that he can handle leadership without letting emotion rule him. But behind that polished exterior, he's restless. Friends like Mariah and Tessa notice the change. "You've been quieter lately," Mariah points out one afternoon. "That's usually not a good sign with you." Kyle laughs it off, but deep down, he knows she's right. He's been avoiding certain conversations, especially the one with Summer. Every time they cross paths, at family events, corporate functions, or just at Crimson Lights, there's an unspoken tension between them. Sometimes it feels like old times, the comfortable rhythm they once had. Other times, the distance between them feels insurmountable. Summer, for her part, seems to have moved on. Or at least, she wants him to believe she has. She's thrown herself into her work at Marchetti, focusing on growth and expansion. But when she looks at Kyle, there's still something there. The chemistry hasn't disappeared. It's just buried under layers of hurt and pride. Claire Grace, the complicated connection. While Kyle's trying to suppress his feelings for Summer, another woman has been quietly stirring emotions he didn't expect. Claire Grace. Their relationship started as a cautious friendship. Claire had come into the Abbott orbit with a complicated past, and Kyle had offered her kindness when few others would. They bonded over shared pain, both trying to escape the shadows of their mistakes. In the beginning, Kyle told himself that helping Claire was just an act of compassion. But over time, compassion turned into curiosity, and curiosity turned into something deeper. There's a subtle intimacy between them. Late-night conversations, supportive gestures, the kind of looks that linger longer than they should. Still, Kyle hesitates. He can't shake the feeling that getting involved with Claire would only create more chaos, especially with Jack and Diane already skeptical of her intentions. Yet, whenever she's around, his guard weakens. There's something magnetic about her, her strength, her vulnerability, her ability to understand the side of Kyle that's still healing. "You don't have to fix me," Claire tells him one night at society, her voice soft. "Maybe not," Kyle replies. "But I don't want to see you break again either." It's moments like these that blur the line between friendship and something more. Summer's confession. The emotional stalemate finally shifts when Summer decides she's had enough of silence. One evening, she shows up at the Abbott mansion, unannounced, nervous but determined. "We can't keep pretending like we're fine, Kyle," she says. "We need to talk about everything." Kyle hesitates, unsure whether to brace for another fight or a moment of honesty. Summer takes a deep breath. "I miss us. I miss what we had before we let pride and jealousy ruin it." Her words catch him off guard. For months, he's been trying to convince himself that Summer has moved on, that there's no going back. But hearing her admit that she still feels something reopens old wounds, and maybe a flicker of hope. "Do you really think we could go back to that?" Kyle asks quietly. Summer's eyes glisten. "I don't know. But I do know that I never stopped caring. I just didn't know how to forgive you." The air between them is thick with emotion. For a long moment, neither speaks. Finally, Kyle sighs. "I made a lot of mistakes, Summer. I hurt you. And I can't promise I won't mess up again. But I never stopped loving you either." It's the kind of confession that feels both healing and dangerous, because love, once reignited, rarely burns gently. Diane's warning. The next day, Diane Jenkins senses that something is stirring. She corners Kyle in the Jabot office, her tone as sharp as ever. "You're getting distracted again," she warns. Kyle tries to brush her off, but Diane doesn't back down. "Whether it's Summer or Claire, you need to decide what you want, before you lose everything. You're letting emotion cloud your judgment, and that's exactly how you make mistakes." Her words sting because there's truth in them. Kyle's romantic entanglements have cost him before, his focus, his credibility, even his happiness. Jack later offers a gentler version of the same advice. "Son, love is messy, but it shouldn't define you. You have to find peace in yourself before you try to find it with someone else." Kyle nods, but inside, he's more conflicted than ever. His heart is split between two women, one who represents his past and one who symbolizes his chance at a future. Claire's unexpected distance. Just as Kyle starts to make sense of his feelings, Claire begins to pull away. Her recent run-ins with Ryan Graves, the crooked cop who manipulated her, have left her shaken. She's trying to rebuild her reputation and focus on her work, but being near Kyle only complicates things. She doesn't want to drag him into her mess again. When he asks her to dinner, she politely declines. "You deserve someone who doesn't come with this much baggage," she says softly. Kyle frowns. "You think I care about that?" She smiles sadly. You should. It's a painful moment, one that forces Kyle to recognize that love isn't always enough to save someone. Sometimes, caring means letting go. A moment of clarity. After weeks of uncertainty, Kyle finally takes time for himself. He spends a weekend away from Genoa City, a quiet trip to the Abbott cabin, away from the noise and expectations. There, surrounded by the stillness of the woods, he reflects on everything: his relationships, his family, and the person he's become. He realizes that he's been chasing love as a way to fill a void that can only be healed from within. Every heartbreak has taught him something, but he's never allowed himself to truly stop, breathe, and understand what he needs. As he sits by the fire, he whispers to himself, maybe it's time I stop running after what was and start building what could be. It's the first moment of genuine peace he's felt in months. The crossroads. When Kyle returns to Genoa City, something in him has changed. He's calmer, more centered, and ready to face both women with honesty. He meets Summer first. They talk openly, not about rekindling their romance right away, but about forgiveness and closure. Whatever happens next, Kyle tells her, I want it to come from truth, not guilt. Summer nods, understanding. Then maybe the best thing we can do right now is stop trying to fix what's broken and just see who we are without the pain. It's bittersweet, but mature. They leave things open-ended. Not an ending, not a beginning, but something in between. Later, Kyle visits Claire. He finds her working late, exhausted but resilient. I've been doing a lot of thinking, he tells her. And I need you to know something. I care about you, but I also need to get my life in order before I can give my heart to anyone. Claire looks up, her expression soft. That's probably the smartest thing you've ever said. They share a quiet smile. Two people learning that timing, not just chemistry, determines everything. A new beginning. By the end of the week, Kyle feels lighter. The weight of indecision has lifted. He's not rushing into another romance, not hiding from his past. He's simply living in the moment. At Jabot, he starts taking charge again, focusing on innovation and earning respect on his own merits. Jack couldn't be prouder. That's my boy, he says with a proud grin. Finally thinking like an Abbott, with his head and his heart. Meanwhile, Summer watches him from a distance, quietly rooting for him even if they're no longer together. Claire, too, finds solace in friendship, knowing that their connection might not have been romantic destiny, but it was the catalyst for both of them to grow. And as Kyle stands on the terrace of the Abbott mansion one evening, watching the city lights flicker below, he smiles to himself. For the first time in a long while, he feels ready, not necessarily to fall in love again, but to move forward without fear. Maybe this is what healing looks like, he murmurs. Epilogue, the future beckons. In Genoa City, no peace lasts forever. There are whispers of new business rivalries on the horizon, potential returns from the past, and unexpected visitors who could shake up Kyle's newfound stability. But for now, he's embracing the quiet, a rare luxury in a town that thrives on chaos. Whether love finds him again with Summer, Claire, or someone entirely new, one thing is clear: Kyle Abbott is no longer running from his past. He's facing it and walking confidently into whatever comes next. Because sometimes, moving on isn't about forgetting who you loved. It's about remembering who you are.